Can you believe that 2016 was 8 years ago? For me, the most memorable thing about 2016 was probably sitting in front of the TV and watching teenagers sing Spanish songs and get into all sorts of drama in the latest episode of Soy Luna, an Argentine Disney Channel soap with 2010 episodes, stretching out over 3 seasons. And let me just tell you, our attention spans must have been huge as kids. Because yes, we watched all of it. Although the focus of the show was mainly on roller skating, singing, and dancing, like most shows on the network, Soy Luna had quite a few characters that were interested in pursuing fashion. But I'm not here today to talk about any of them. Instead, we're going to talk about none other than the real star of the show, Amber Smith. Amber Smith is Soy Luna's take on the Regina George archetype. She enjoys her fabulous life in Buenos Aires as a millionaire's goddaughter until Luna's family moves into the mansion to work for her godmother. Luna is immediately well liked by her peers, especially by Amber's equally popular boyfriend Mateo. Right off the bat, Amber starts planning her evil schemes to get rid of the new girl and re-establish her place at the top of the hierarchy, and she seems to have all the tools to do so. After all, Amber has the popularity, the talent, and most importantly, the closet. The looks we see on the screen were put together by the very talented Gabriela Grinman and Camila Motorin. Both worked together on projects such as Ruacas, Bia, and Cuando Toca la Campana. Today we're going to take a look at Amber's style evolution throughout the seasons and how her outfits helped with the storytelling. We meet Amber, a copy and paste mean girl. She has blonde hair and blue eyes and presents in a very feminine way, as she mostly wears a lot of pinks, whites, and beiges. We soon find out that she is no stranger to fashion, as she has two best friends who run a fashion blog, with her being the main subject, obviously, as well as an endless amount of money to spend. She mentions traveling to the fashion capitals of the world numerous times, and is even set to go to university in Paris after finishing high school, though it is never revealed for what. Possibly to pursue fashion? Amber's style is preppy chic, a neat, put-together look classified by clean lines and classic prints. Like some other characters on the show, Amber likes to add pearl and bow elements to her clothing. While every character has their own unique sense of style, Amber's minions Delphi and Jasmine follow her sophisticated dress code, often copying smaller details of her outfits. However, Amber differentiates herself from them by topping off most outfits with flashy jewelry pieces that catch your eye immediately. Though it's never confirmed, it is assumed that Amber is the richest in the group, so adding expensive necklaces and sparkly headpieces is not only natural but also her way of showing who's in charge. Some of the girls' clothes may seem a bit dated when rewatching the show today. The trio's members are approximately 16 to 18 years old, yet they often can be seen wearing things like blazers and pantsuits. But did you know that back in 2015 it was actually considered fashionable for teenagers to basically dress up as adults? In fact, it's a trend that has since made a big comeback, with the business casual look resurfacing as the clean girl aesthetic. In a scene in season 3, Amber even admits to Monica that as a kid she adored her godmother Sharon and used to try on her clothes. Throughout the show, Amber closely sticks to her emotionally unavailable godmother and mimics a lot of her looks, possibly as a quiet act to show her loyalty. When she's not busy plotting against her enemies or strutting down her school's halls in a pretty uniform, Amber is in the spotlight at performances and competitions. She goes all out, not only talent-wise. Her sparkly dresses and dramatic makeup always let the competitors know who they're dealing with. I love that the costume designers established a signature Amber look, as she often wears different variations of a collared shirt along with some flashy necklace. However, I really wish they would have leaned even more into the preppy chic aesthetic at times instead of playing it safe. A lot of Amber's pieces could have easily been straight off the runway. Her pink blazer look from episode 2, as well as her white top and blue skirt combo from episode 27, are reminiscent of classic Chanel, and are definitely among my favorites. It's no secret that the Violetta and Soy Luna showrunners loved getting inspiration from other media. I believe that the costume department was no exception to that. In fact, when rewatching the show, I couldn't help but notice parallels to Zooey Deschanel's character Jess in New Girl, that single-handedly popularized the twee style. It's a quirky vintage-themed style characterized by a nod to the mid-20s. When looking at pictures of Jess's clothing, you can easily imagine Valentina Zenre's character wearing the majority of it, which is funny to think about considering just how different both characters are. Another resemblance that caught my eye was this classic white dress and red lipstick combo Amber chose for an extravagant music video shoot, possibly inspired by fashion icon Marilyn Monroe's signature look. Throughout the show, we find out more specific details about Amber's likes and dislikes in fashion.
¿No sabes que no me gusta el olor rosado?
While in the last episode of the first season, Amber seems to show remorse and apologizes to the people she has hurt. She immediately disposes that mentality in the first episode of the second season again. Amber is seen wearing an outfit that's a nod to the pink blazer outfit, only now it's all black, signifying the queen bee is back and more driven than before. She continues being the main antagonist of the show, but this time around we get more insight into Amber's inner world of thoughts and feelings. As a result, we see her room for the first time, accompanied by loungewear and pajama looks that still somehow manage to look absolutely classy. Amber sticks to her color palette for the most part and keeps her signature look. It's no secret she loves being the center of attention and even goes as far as dressing as Cleopatra for a costume party. In the same episode, one of her minions, Jasmine, who later throughout the season starts distancing herself from Amber, ends up wearing the same disguise. People then vote for the person they like it better on, with Jasmine winning the vote unanimously, signifying that she can very well be a threat to Amber's popularity. Jasmine later even goes as far as sabotaging Amber by doing her makeup in a rather unflattering way when they go head-to-head in a singing contest. But Amber pushes through, embraces the dark element, and performs anyhow, which considering the development of her later story is a little Easter egg. Towards the end of the second season, Amber reaches an all-time low with all of her plans backfiring. She has no friends, no boyfriend, and no popularity. In a last attempt at coming out on top, Amber joins the rival skating team. The very next episode, she is seen wearing earrings with the evil eye symbol on them. The evil eye is a protective symbol and is used to protect the person wearing it from any evil. It signifies Amber starting a new chapter in her life and seeking for protection in this period. Her new team opts for crow-like costumes for their big performance. Amber ultimately ends up losing the competition to Luna and being abandoned by her godmother. But nevertheless, our queen bee promises to come back stronger than ever, which is when she undergoes her most drastic style transition yet. The third season kicks off with an intense scene in which we see Amber back in Buenos Aires. She has stuck to the dark look and gone full emo, completely abandoning her previous style from the earlier seasons. She starts dressing in solely grays and blacks and wearing a lot of leather. Amber also abandons simplicity and instead opts for maximalism, combining all sorts of materials and accessories to reflect the chaotic state of mind she is in. On her neck, where there used to be classy jewelry, are now edgy-looking chokers. Soy Luna often utilizes jewelry to show where characters at in their story. Take Luna's Sun and Moon necklace or Nina's ring as an example. In Amber's case, she wants to let the world know that she's a new, even more unhinged version of herself, and that she's once again up to no good. This style transition also makes sense, since Amber's godmother is not around anymore. Amber needs to find a new person to mimic, which is why her and her teammate / new best friend Emilia start dressing equally. You can tell that the costume department had a lot of fun coming up with wacky outfit ideas for Amber this season. It was uncharted territory as none of the other characters on the show had this aesthetic. Therefore, I found that a lot of the creations overall felt more experimental. As an ode to her past self, Amber goes Aria Montgomery and keeps a strain in her hair pink. I interpreted this as a way of showing that underneath all these layers of leather, jackets, and smushy eye makeup, the old Amber is still with us. I especially loved her layered looks like this one from episode 46, where she decides to layer a tank top over a long sleeve top. I also liked this look from the following episode. This season Amber can be seen wearing chains, gloves, and even harnesses and pulling it off effortlessly. Eventually, with the help of the people around her, Amber realizes that she no longer wants to be a villain. She feels guilty about all her past schemes and finally makes amends with the people she has hurt. In the last episodes, Amber starts transitioning into a more neutral color palette. I love that this isn't rushed and doesn't happen in an abrupt way, which adds a lot of realism. In the last episode, Amber wears a burgundy top paired with earrings that appear to be the Hamza hand, a sign of protection, power, and peace, signifying her finally coming to terms with everything that has happened and finally accepting herself. I love that the costume department followed up on the little detail of Amber believing in protective symbols here.
Es un regalo de cumpleaños? No sé quién me lo regaló. ¿Y si me lo pongo para la competencia? ¿Así me da suerte? No. No, Jazmín, porque no sé de dónde viene.
Her last look is the dress she wears for Luna's birthday. It's a white and gold dress. It's obviously a huge contrast to her past looks this season, and I like to believe that once again it's a reference to the dress she wore in the first season finale and its season 2 counterpart. But as you can see, Amber Smith, beloved mean girl turned Disney princess, underwent some serious character and wardrobe development. I think the designers did a great job, which isn't easy to do for a show with this many episodes. Nevertheless, a lot of gorgeous looks came out of it. But I come bearing bad news for anyone who throughout this video gained some major nostalgia and now wants to shop Amber's entire wardrobe. It seems that all of the clothing on the show was actually costume made, and at least as of today is not on sale anywhere. The good news is, with most of her looks having fairly simple elements, it's not going to be hard to find dupes. And at the end of the day, at least we'll have 3 seasons worth of her wardrobe to admire from afar. What were your favorite Amber looks? Let me know in the comment section. If you liked this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and comment what character you'd like to see next. Subscribe to not miss out on any more content. Thanks for watching. I also love that the costume department followed up on the little detail of